Bang, bang. The next sentence can be evinced pretty easily. Let me jump right into this. I've been getting a lot of questions very recently about my thoughts on clavicular, this new astronomical rising star, I guess. I like clavicular for reasons that you might not comprehend, but I like him. And the reason I like him is that a lot of you are not really understanding the subtext. Yeah, on the surface, the looks maxing stuff is obviously horrifically fucking homosexual. But what he is offering is a form of spiritual disfigurement. It's actually sort of an orthogonal concept to a lot of the stuff that I preach, in the sense that he's gone all the way with it. He's gone absolutely fanatical to the point of blind, raw, carnal obsession. I mean, this motherfucker is taking war mallets to his face, breaking bones, breaking orbital bones for the fucking afterglow effect, giving himself fucking black eyes. I mean, this motherfucker's literally going all the way, putting fucking steel beams in his face. And if you're really paying attention, this is an actual form of extreme disfigurement. This man is literally fucking disfiguring his soul. He's basically dipping his exoskeleton in a fucking phosphorescent acid bath. And yes, it's on the feminine spectrum. 100% it is. But if you've paid attention to the women in your life, to the consorts, to the trysts that you've had, you will know there is an old adage from beautiful women, and beautiful women will tell you that it hurts to be beautiful. It hurts to be beautiful. The undertaking, the curling irons that the burns that women sustain, the fucking chemical peels, the fucking micro needling, the shit that women do to their face to maintain beauty is brutally fucking painful. And so this motherfucker has decided to embark on that same path, but he's gone all the way with it. And the reason I like him is because the few clips that I've peeped, which is maybe about 5 minutes in sum total, he's well spoken, number one, but number two, he has a confidence about him that I don't believe is fake whatsoever. And I'll tell you this right now, it ain't coming from the looks. It ain't coming from the looks. Yet again, the unconscious mind playing these surly tricks on us. He doesn't even realize where the confidence is spawning from, which is the fact that he's basically tortured. He's basically tortured himself to a point of reprieve where he's now developing these other confident characteristics as an overcompensation to the sheer volume of pain that he subjected himself to. That's where the confidence is coming from. So yet again, another shining example of obsession, the obsession itself over anything, no matter how gay, is what fucking pulls him through. And I've talked about this ad infinitum. The mere obsession over the thing is what gives you the after effect. It's what gives you the afterglow. It's what gives you the genuine assertive confidence that's necessary to wade through the bogs of life. And that's what this motherfucker has done. Hey, it's one way to live. It's not something I would recommend, but it's one way to live. And he's gone all the way with it. And you gotta low key respect it because it is a disfiguration. On the surface, it's not. But I've discussed this archetype. I have discussed this archetype, and it is worth a re-mentioning that this archetype of the beautiful monster, you can bet your bottom dollar that he has turned himself into a monster underneath the surface with this obsession, with this pathology. I have been ruthlessly dealing with relationship stuff. It's amazing how this kind of just fell into my lap, but I have sort of been billed as the relationship guy. I've been fucking troubleshooting motherfuckers on Twitter. I've been troubleshooting all of their romantic relationships for like 3 months. That's what I've been doing. 12 hours a day, getting guys' exes back. Fucking troubleshooting I've seen every romantic issue in the entire panoply of man in the last 3 months. The amount of learning, the amount of accelerated learning that I've developed on a personal level in the last 3 months is fucking staggering from the type of shit that I've seen and had to guide and instruct through. One thing that I did want to point out to you guys is that there are within nuclear families, within every nuclear family, there are almost these conjugal configurations that take place that are unbeknownst to you. And what I mean by that is that there are essentially flip-flopped marital roles that take place between the parents and the children. So here's how this looks. And I've been seeing this a lot lately. This is a fucking OG insight. If a father loses control of the mother and the mother no longer surrenders or submits to his coda, what's going to happen is he will transplant that deficit usually onto his most talented son. And you'll know what I'm talking about in a second. So if you have an imperious father who's extremely fucking protective of you, this is a cultural thing, but there's a lot of dads who really don't want their sons moving out of the house. They want to kind of keep them under close watch. They sort of paint the world as sort of a dangerous place. This is sort of a common thing that dads will do to their sons, and they become very overbearing. Let me tell you something. What that is a man who has lost complete control over the wife. And so he basically, in a metaphysical sense, tries to get the eldest son or the most talented son playing that wife's role of submission. So he wants to keep you under his thumb. He doesn't want you fucking leaving the house. He doesn't want you doing stupid shit. He doesn't want you taking risks, et cetera, et cetera. And I've seen this a lot. And a lot of you are in these unconscious patterns with your parents where you don't understand that you're literally playing the marital role that is not being fulfilled by the spouse or partner gets implanted onto you. And then you're playing literally a feminine role with your dad, even though you might be a brusque, fucking hard charging type A personality. You got to throw on the mask because you don't want to piss off your father. And so now you're playing this feminine role of just absolute surrender and submission 24/7. You're basically betrothed to your own fucking parents. And then if you have siblings, you'll notice that the same unruly mom who won't submit to the dad because he's lost control, she'll cling on to like the youngest brother or the other brother, and he's fucking man of the house. He's got all the fucking power. He's the one calling shots. He's allowed to move out of the house. He has free reign. He can do whatever the fuck he wants because he's playing the fucking husband role to the mom. This is literally how fucking nuclear families have been functioning since the dawn of time. Nobody's pointed this out, but it's extremely fucking real. And it's probably happening to all of you on a daily basis on some level. And it's always a result of a fracturing, some kind of broken limb in the main host relationship. So that's definitely something to scope in your own life and understand that if you're playing that role, if you're playing that feminine role with your dad, or if you're playing that masculine role with your mom, these are configurations that you really don't escape from. And here's the thing, as long as you keep submitting to your father, and as long as you let your dad fucking control you and tell you what the fuck to do, this is for the super young guys, you're actually massively fucking interfering with the work in progress that he needs to make, which is that he needs to go find another woman. And so both of you are delaying each other's growth process because he ain't gonna, it's a terminal illness. It's a fucking mental sickness that you're involved in with your dad. You understand? And he is not gonna get better. He is not gonna get well until he goes and finds either a different woman that fulfills his request, and then you can finally thrive and fucking leave the nest. And you can help him do that by immediately fucking pivoting out of that role. So if this is resonating to you live on air, you need to really fucking think about this tonight and think about making an exit because it is extraordinarily destructive. And let me tell you something, these patterns can go on for fucking decades. You tell yourself, oh, I'll move out when I'm 25. Nah, nah. You're gonna make so many excuses. You'll be there till you're fucking 30, then you'll be 35. And now you're a fucking rotten husk because you are fulfilling a sick need of your father, who's, by the way, it's completely unconscious. And here's the other thing that makes it very fucking seductive and elusive. Your father will have no fucking clue this is going on. He might be very well intentioned. He might even treat you right. He might even fucking, you might even think he has your back and he's encouraging you. But if you are involved, when there is a strain in a household between the mother and the father, I am telling you right now, this is how these generational curses get passed down. It is from this function and this mechanism right here because it does transplant. It does manifest into the fucking children, and then the children play a role because it's only natural, biologically, endemically. It's hardwired in to the animal to want to live in the father's shadow. You understand? We got a mixed bag of questions here. We're gonna fucking do this. We're gonna hopscotch this the way we always do for posterity's sake. Someone's asking me, God, these questions are fucking stupid. Hey, if you guys have questions, you're more than welcome to DM me right now because I'll probably just speed run them. I think that's probably the best way to handle it instead of doing the on air stuff. There's just too many delays. So if you have good questions, feel free to fire in my DMs right now. But I'll just run through a couple that I got. What is the function and utility of having a nice car? So this is rudimentary shit, but I have to share this with you guys. So this guy's asking, what is the utility of having a nice car? I'll tell you what it is, and it's something very simple that you might not think about, but there is one single function, just one, of having a fucking nice car and what that does for you. And I'll tell you what it is right now. This will dispel the air permanently. Having a fucking nice car, a supercar, whatever the fuck it is, all it does is it puts your environment at ease. That's all it does. It puts your local environment at ease. It lowers anxiety from strangers and it creates a lot of fucking rapport and it creates a very relaxed space for people. If you pull into a fucking park, a recreational park at 2 a.m. to go smoke a cig, and you're driving a fucking Volkswagen hatchback from 1984, you look like a fucking serial killer. You understand? You're getting the cops called on you for fucking loitering at 2 a.m. in a fucking Volkswagen hatchback, especially if you got fucking duct tape on your fucking side mirror. But you pull up in a Royce at 2 a.m. A Royce, right? You get out, smoke that same cig, everybody's chilling. No one even fucking thinks twice. It also puts, if you get pulled over for speeding and you're in a fucking Royce, think the officer's approaching your car with the hand on that great equalizer? The answer is fuck no. But if you're in that V-back from 84 with duct tape and cracked windshield, you bet your ass that motherfucker's approaching your car with more of a fucking loose grip on that trigger. So that's literally the only function. It does absolutely nothing else for you but create a relaxing ambience for your local environment. And that's all that needs to be said about nice cars. Number two, this motherfucker says, what's the most history? What's the most baller move in world history? This guy asked me. Baller move in world history. It's gotta be Fuck, it's neck and neck. It's got to be Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, a lot of you don't know this, but he was captured by pirates. He was literally fucking captured by pirates, and they put up ransom. They put up a ransom amount for him to be released. And he was so insulted that the ransom was so low. I think it was like, I could be mistaken, but I think it was 20 talent or something. 20 talent was their measurement of coinage back then. But anyway, it was a 20 talent ransom. And he was absolutely offended that the ransom was so low. So he forced his own capturers to raise the price of his own ransom, like drastically. I think he fucking 3x'd it. So he raises the price of his ransom so he could be released. His people end up paying it. The entire time, by the way, he's doing like slam poetry on the fucking deck. He's literally fucking regaling them with he's fucking using figurative language, he's fucking serenading them. He's entertaining the entire fucking crew while he's under captive. Anyway, he gets released after raising his own ransom, assembles an elite guard, comes back and fucking slaughters them and turns them into a speck of dust. Cold blood murder, slits all their throats with his elite guard and annihilates and abolishes them from the annals of history. Hard pressed to think of a more baller move than that one. What's number two? Number two is probably old boy Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. This is an undertold story. Motherfucker gets shot in the chest while delivering a speech and sits there and finishes the speech. I'm pretty sure the speech lasted like another 90 minutes. And he interjected shortly after being shot saying, hey, it's going to take much more than that to kill a bull moose. And this motherfucker's literally got a bullet lodged in his chest and he finishes a full-blown fucking speech. That is not a fake story. That did happen. Motherfucker's a gangster. Got here. Gotta sift through a lot of fucking bad questions, my friends. A lot of them. Someone's asking me about the Charlie Kirk thing. The Charlie Kirk thing, all you need to know about that is yes, that assassination was real. The Erica Kirk thing is weird, but all you need to know about that is that that was an arranged marriage, to be clear. I don't know why nobody's pointed this out, but that was a completely fake relationship. They joined forces and formed an alliance to kind of build this movement together. But that was 100% a set up, fucking arranged, fake relationship. That explains the complete lack of compassion and empathy that she's been showing in these interviews. That's actually extremely common in the upper crest of political circles. You'll get a lot of arranged marriages like that to push certain movements and agendas. It's not uncommon whatsoever. So that's all there is to say about that. That also reminds me, the fucking you want to talk about fucking arranged relationships. Here's a fucking interesting one. That company Kalshi, I don't know what their fucking valuation is. It's got to be billions. But the CEO, the guy who created it, Tarek Mansour, he you guys got to go look this shit up, man, because you can't make this up. And once you connect the pieces on this, there's no looking back. If you go look at who his COO is, it's this woman, I think her name's Luana Lopez. Not even that hot. I mean, she's decent, she's passable, but she's not even that fucking hot. But if you hear her speak, you will know in fucking 0.3 seconds that this woman has zero contributions to this company. And I mean fucking zero. Like less than fucking zero. So what's going on here is, and this is a phenomenon that you'll see wide spectrum across humanity, is Tarek Mansour quite literally created Kalshi to institute this woman, put her in a high role just so he could get some fucking bald kitty. Do you truly understand the profundity of that? This man generated a multi-billion-dollar empire just to get some fucking mid bald kitty. Because I'm telling you right now, I mean, you're talking like this is worse than an arranged marriage because she has a massive fucking stake in that $1 billion evaluation. I promise you with my soul that she forces him to use a condom. He's not even hitting it raw, and this dude's worth like 5 billion. Does not get to hit the bald kitty raw, and on top of it, she would scoff and balk at the idea of ever entertaining having his offspring. Really comprehend how ugly that is. Yeah, do I have any doubt in my mind he's hitting that? I know for a fucking fact he is. I know how this works. He's hitting it. But he basically had to give her 2.5 billion, 2.5 billion with a fucking capital B to hit. Like the lengths that men will go to, who they have to become when they're starting that low on the totem pole to get some bald kitty is fucking astonishing. Astonishing. In every fucking which way or form. There is a 0% chance that she has any legitimate role in that company. She's basically a fucking clerk. I'm telling you right now. She might fucking be reading from teleprompters and fucking looking glamorous and fucking using fucking tech speak in interviews and shit. But I know for a fucking fact that it's all fucking teleprompter bullshit. Signals this guy as a killer and a founding engineer for BTPs. Yes, I mean, just reading some of these questions. I gotta have one of the most eclectic audiences on fucking planet Earth. Fuck it, I'm in the mood. We're gonna fucking do a little fucking pivot, and then I'll do some more fucking ranting. We're gonna bring up Drew Pearson because the quality of these questions is genuinely not up to par. Yo, Drew, give me some fucking clay to work with. Yo, we're waiting. Jazz Johnson,
Yo, what's up, Brute?
what's up, baby? Who am I talking to?
I think we talked last year. I know we did actually. I was a
Mm-hmm.
dude with the shoulder surgery.
Yeah,
Play basketball. So come back after working my ass off, rehab, played the best ever. Um, First question, like, how do you explain that? After 6 months of not touching a basketball, coming in and playing the best of my entire life.
it's just being a novice again, man. It's being a novice again. I've seen this phenomenon. Did you notice when this is an analog to this? Did you notice when Luigi Mangione, that guy who assassinated that healthcare CEO?
Yeah,
Did you notice when you saw that security footage? What were all the pundits saying for the first 48 hours before capture? Everyone was saying this was a fucking hired gun. This was a professional hitman. This motherfucker was well trained. This motherfucker was some kind of fucking SAAS agent, whatever the fuck it was, and it turned out to be a fucking nobody fucking scrub who's basically never fired a weapon, looking like a fucking pro on camera. Well, it's the same fucking thing when you are a novice and you begin something, there's, believe it or not, kind of a lack of pressure. There's a lack of pressure when you come back and you're a novice that kind of makes you indistinguishable from a fucking pro. I mean, that's the whole concept behind beginner's luck. Beginner's luck is merely the phenomenon that when you start a venture and you're brand new, your your anxiety is high because you're new at it. And so it sort of has a reverse effect. Your anxiety is high, so you're super fucking aware of your body and you're aware of your movements. When you get really fucking advanced at shit, you kind of start to go off the rails and kind of start losing fundamentals and start getting a little too fucking creative. And so I think the phenomenon there is that you took 6 months off, came back, probably under a little bit of stress. Once that stress goes away, you kind of start fucking up again.
Yeah, yeah. I knew you would have some input on that. And second question, so uh, come back 2 weeks later from playing the best of my life, fucked my knee up doing sprints on this like concrete track. Uh, couldn't walk for about a week. Played through it all summer. It gets a little better. In August, finally go to the doctor. They said I got a stress fracture and like some cartilage damage. I need to sit out 6 to 8 weeks. Do that, still hurting. Another doctor said I have a partially torn LCL and another like bone chip. Shit still hurts. Now they're saying I have to have surgery. Does this mean to you that this is not the path I'm meant to be on, or is there another way to take this? Because I'm
Nah,
really,
nah, but I do see chronic injury. I do see chronic injury as definitely sort of a self-inflicted thing. It's a kind of a complex mechanism, but we can get into it. Whenever I see people that constantly get injuries, even if they're freak accidents doing a sport or activity, I do kind of believe, I have some sort of unconscious belief that these blunders are 100% self-intentional to either kind of remove yourself from the game, some sort of fucking self-sabotage. There's definitely something to this where I see people with these fucking chronic injuries are trying to sort of uplift themselves on another path. And sort of the Freudian slip just now that you made is you literally just said it yourself. You were like, does this mean I need to uplift myself out of the path? I can almost fucking guarantee you that that Freudian slip was not an accident. You're basically just told me point blank that you don't think this is the right path for you. So the body, like the unconscious mind, I've said this quote so many fucking times, and this is a great time to hammer it again, but Carl Jung said the unconscious mind has 1,000 ways to terminate a life that has become meaningless. And what that means is that when you have no meaning and you're not on the right path, your body will 100% self-destruct. They'll self-destruct. I also believe, by the way, this is why people get, I mean, this is why people specifically injuries are an absolute fucking easy fucking way to tap out of the game.
oh, for sure, yeah, probably number
Easy,
one.
easy fucking way to tap out of the game.
But at the same time, like everything feels so natural and like there's nothing that makes me feel as at peace and focused and moving forward as playing the game.
When you're hooping.
Yeah, so that's what I know I'm meant to do this and become a pro, but I keep having these.
Why do you say peace is your indicator that this is what you should be doing? Are
It's
you
not hard. Like I have no issue waking up at 5 in the morning to work out or um, lifting 5 days a week or coming back after two surgeries. Like it's really not an issue for me. Um,
I
it's just
understand that,
easy.
but let me extrapolate this. When you think about possibly playing pro ball, all right, I don't know if you that's your fucking body type. I don't know your dimensions, but I'm assuming that you have a body type that could fucking play in the NBA. Are you too small, too short?
I'm 6'2".
Okay, so you're a guard. Here's the thing: is there when you think about playing pro ball, is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so when you think about playing pro ball, you need to answer this question very honestly. Do you shirk back and kind of think that it's way over your head?
No, I've played pros one on one, and like I know that I'm capable of that. That's the frustrating thing with all this.
Okay, so that shoulder thing that you had, I remember I told you the movement shit. Did that work?
Oh yeah, bro. They said I was like ready to go at like 3.5 months after, and usually it's like 5 or 6 months.
And you were back how long?
Um, about a month total.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something that you're not juggling. There's something definitely I think you're neglecting in sort of the broad spectrum of your life right now that's leading to these fucking chronic injuries, man. Like the freak accident shit, it doesn't fucking resonate with me when I see it happening this often, especially when um you're in a situation where, because I even see the peace word when someone tells me that something's effortless and peaceful. I mean, that's sort of how the curse of the talented works, right?
Hmm.
Like the curse of the talented is that thing that you just said, where things are so easy and effortless and peaceful that basically you kind of find ways to drift away from it. It it's
Yeah,
it's it's not that fucking easy. It's
yeah,
not that easy.
for sure. I guess I just got to
So
do some soul searching on that, and really look into myself.
yeah, man. I mean, it's there's some kind of fucking sabotage with that shit. Because I mean, I even like, you can show me structural damage on a fucking MRI, and I'll still tell you that the unconscious mind can do definitely bizarre dismemberings of your own fucking body when you're misaligned. I mean, it's like, I know I've been on the right path because I have for the most part evaded serious fucking injuries, and I do very dangerous lifting.
Yeah,
I do very fucking dangerous lifting, but I've sort of been fucking harmonious with my craft, and I've been able to evade. And it's just the fucking easiest fucking hat that you can hang up is when you get hurt, because it fucking, it's an excuse not to make bread. It's an excuse to not fucking date. It's like there's a whole host of characteristics that emerge from it that kind of end up kind of pulling you down.
yeah, for sure. It's messed up every aspect of my life right now. Is kind of thrown off from this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One more context, if you got time. So, uh, I'm a senior now. I have eligibility, but I'm going to graduate, and I have no film from 2 years. I don't know how to find a place to go. That's like my biggest concern is if I do have to sit out surgery, whatever. I don't know how to convince a coach to take me after 2 years.
So surgery, man, is really should just not be an option. I
Yeah,
don't think I really don't think people fucking comprehend how fucking evil going under the knife really is.
that was
Um,
terrible.
it's what it does to your psyche. I mean, you might be fucking anesthetized, but make no mistake, when you wake up from that surgery, your body knows that it was fucking violated.
Dude, I was
With
off for like 4 or 5 months.
hmm and the body 100% fucking regenerates. You can attenuate like 99% of even structural damage just through fucking proper clean movement.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I thought I had a torn ACL recently. I mean, I was hobbling and it lasted maybe 2 or 3 days. I was back.
Damn.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. Is a lot of this shit is like this. Your body will misfire and send fucking signals, like pain signals that don't fucking exist when you're ailing in some other fucking dimension. It'll manifest as physical pain, which obviously will lead you to fucking make a misstep, which will lead to structural damage. But the fundamental reason for why you made that error in the first place is that there's some dimension of your life that's not being properly taken care of.
All right, I appreciate it, Brute. I mean, that's up to me to figure out.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I appreciate you.
all right, brother. What's up, John?
What's up, brother? How's it going?
How you doing?
Crazy you brought that guy up. Actually, fucking remember to listen to that space way back when. And cool cool full circle there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting idea actually. So I'm also in a like a athletic sort of field, not getting into any specifics, but uh fucking tore my right shoulder, and I'd torn my left shoulder a while back, like years ago, getting side lateral dropped in training, doing fucking some wrestling, and now I tore my other one. So I guess like my question is, how do you I know you're big on the physicality side and you do a different form of it, but how do you uh how do you approach, broadly speaking, um like high physical output at the highest echelons of human existence, right? Like that's the aspiration, right? But also
Mm-hmm.
realizing like you're equally going to destroy your body, and how do you surpass those injuries and that brokenness, and still do it?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. First of all, was it your supraspinatus? Was it your fucking labrum? What'd you tear in both shoulders?
So on my left shoulder, it's a fucking rotator cuff, and
Yeah, supraspinatus.
on the other one, it's a fucking my labrum.
Did you get surgery?
Fuck no, yeah, absolutely not.
All right, right on. Yeah, I mean that's a fucking good question, man. Amplified a little bit. You know, you should be doing fucking dead hangs every day. Um, can you raise your arm over your head right now?
Yeah, so basically the range of motion is fine, which is weird, but uh like when I do pull-ups, like weighted pull-ups or whatever the fuck it is, or I fight, right? Like if you hyperextend that arm,
Hmm.
it'll pop out sometimes, which is pretty much like, that's very common with a torn labrum.
Yeah, it makes sense. So the shoulder, how the shoulder functions is it's like a seal. The socket is like a seal with a ball balancing on the tip of its nose. And that ball is extremely fucking delicate. And what'll happen is through poor shoulder flexion and from just poor range of motion for years, it could be a fucking tight lat. There's a lot of machinery going on in your upper back, in your scalenes, in your neck, in your rhomboids that affect that shoulder upward rotation. But the bottom line is through shitty movement patterns, that ball and socket gets frayed. Those tissues get frayed over time and they get laminated through high heat and high pressure. And the only way to alleviate that space and create some of that more subclavicle space so that shoulder can rotate properly overhead is to get on a fucking bar and literally hang your dead body from that fucking bar, and that'll kind of groove that ball back onto that seal nose so that that stuff tracks properly. I've literally seen this, and here's the thing. No physical therapist will tell you any of this bullshit, and no doctor will, because it's not sexy. How do you bill somebody? How do you bill someone a fucking $1,000 for a physical therapy appointment if you're just gonna dead hang for an hour? So instead, they got to throw in cloud pleasers and all these fucking exotic movements to make you feel like you're doing corrective exercise, but it's all bullshit. All the big bang for your buck stuff that fixes the human body from a rehab perspective is so fucking simple. Elementary stuff. Sit in a fucking deep squat, have a good fucking shoulder over the head pattern, and your body's literally probably operating at 99%. And that's all it is. I mean, I have literally two rehab mechanics that have kept my body healthy for 38 years. And that's dead hangs from a fucking bar. You don't even have to do a pull up, and deep squatting for the hip socket. Hips and shoulders are literally the fundamental reason for every fucking injury in the entire body. If you have foot issues, if you sprain your ankles, if your knees are fucked, you have a hip problem. If you have upper back pain, if your neck's fucked, if your shoulders are fucked, guess what? You have probably shit fucking thoracic spine mobility. Everything is related to the fucking hip joint and the fucking shoulder joint. Those are both of the maximal, proximal joints in the human body that pretty much control everything. Those are your prime movers. And so you should literally be fucking hanging from a bar every fucking day, and you should be sitting in a deep squat as much as possible to create as much fucking hip flexion as you possibly can. Because believe it or not, I also have seen firsthand a lot of shoulder issues do stem from hip issues. If your hips are tight and your hips don't function correctly, everything starts to kind of fucking jumble upstream as well. You know what I'm saying? Like your pelvis, you have to picture your pelvis as a cup that's pointed upward. And if that cup is filled with water, you don't ever really want your pelvis in a tilt. You need your pelvis neutral. And it's amazing how when you stack your joints up like that and you have a neutral pelvis, it's insane how the shoulder starts to glide a lot better. Like a lot of fucking rotator cuff tears, believe it or not, even if it's a freak accident. I know you said you got slammed, but my point is that slam ordinarily probably wouldn't have torn your rotator if you didn't have that fraying from all those years of those bad movement patterns. And having clean movement patterns in the shoulder joint and in the hip socket, all it does is it gives you more end range motion so that when you are in a freak position, the chances of you creating a catastrophic injury go to almost zero. That is literally the purpose of functional good clean movement, is so that when you are in a very bad position from a sport related activity, you have way more end range of motion that you can literally be fucking acrobatically twisted into a shit position and you're probably not going to tear anything. But you need that full amplitude in the joint first. But then go back to your other question. That was the technical side. The other one sounded more like a spiritual question. You were talking about how do you sustain um, years and years and years of bodily abuse through elite athletics? Was
Yeah,
that the
I
question?
mean, how do you maintain performance at the highest echelon while realizing like you're going to? And I, by the way, I have a more spiritual question as an addendum to that, but let's start with this. Like, how do you manage that highest echelon of existence while also realizing you are constantly overextending yourself? Like, how do you manage that overextension if you want to, ask it in a single sentence?
I mean, I always look at the gym and just athletics in general as sort of a proxy for whatever your main mission is. If you're burning on fire with whatever your main mission is, depending on whatever that is, your athletics is typically the outlet and the channel that you use. It's sort of like the monastery where you kind of sublimate a lot of that fucking fiery energy that you have, so you don't fully self-destruct. And so the gym is mostly just an adjunct to whatever. So like if you're losing the fire to lift or you're losing the fire to stay elite in that regard, then there's definitely some sort of fucking art. It usually comes back to an artistic crisis. There's some sort of artistic license that you're not taking control of in your personal life, and you're not probably taking the wheel by the bull by the horns on some sort of fucking creative endeavor. It's they're very yin and yang. The gym and creative endeavors are 1,000% on polar opposites of the spectrum, but they're also they have that central nexus point where if one is neglected, then the other one suffers. So it's
So,
it's so my point is most people have this reversed. Most people are like, damn, I wake up and I have to fucking psych myself up to go to the gym. That's wrong. It should be that you're working on whatever your project is, whatever your art is, and the gym is how you offset the heat from whatever artistic license that you have. And
right.
I,
So I don't know if I can intercede real quick because I want to sort of like hone this, right? You were talking about how like it's potentially like a creative crisis, but it's not at all like that for me. I just overextend because I want to be the highest echelon of that, but also on the mission, right? Like this kind of goes to the quantum mechanics sort of fucking title of this space, like the quantum superposition, right? It's like somewhere is somebody or something is in two places at the same time, right? It's like
yeah.
how do you manage that? The mission, right? But also the highest echelon of physical capacity, which obviously interplays with the mission, right?
Well, I mean, if you've been a long time listener, you'll know that I'm a massive advocate of burning your body down, right? Which was sort of the analog of why I kind of tipped the hat to clavicular, because I do see the spiritual domain, right? I see sort of this path to enlightenment as sort of stemming from being in that hyper fatigued, kind of beaten to a bloody pulp state of being at all times. That's the fundamental primal mode that man is supposed to be in. Sustaining that though, sustaining that comes from crisis around you. That's what I was getting at, right? And that's sort of a different way of talking about the artistic license. But if you don't have fires to put out and you don't have genuine crises that you're dealing with, you're running on steam. That's all you're running on is steam. and it's going to be very difficult to sustain. Like it's that's why these fucking hyper fucking successful dudes that are fucking working out fucking 10 days a week, the only reason why they can fucking put in that much work in the gym is because they have so much fucking stimulus. They have so much fucking stimulus and overgrowth in other aspects of their life. It's the gym is absolutely fucking auxiliary to these things. Even it doesn't even matter. You could literally name fucking any professional athlete right now who specifically that's just their craft. The point still remains. The guys, the professional athletes who are pushing their bodies to the highest levels and sustaining it, they also have very fucking dysfunctional, fucked up personal lives. That's just the reality of it. They have torn relationships. They have strained relationships with their kids. They have fucking businesses blowing up on the side, investment deals going awry. All of that shit is 100% connected towards that fire and thunder and sort of bringing in all those elements that allows them to perform. And without that, you're literally in a void. You're in a void. And so like that's why sort of the first phase of my whole philosophy has been subjecting the body to some kind of terror, because I do see that as sort of it's sort of a tantric thing. It's sort of like the blackening of the ego in a way, right? You go through this blackening phase where you're so disheveled. Here's the thing: when your body is beaten down, your mind sort of operates at its best. That's sort of the funny paradox about it all. Is like when you're under severe exhaustion, honest to God, you'll probably execute your best ideas. And everybody says it's the opposite, and they're wrong. Everyone's like, you need to be fucking refreshed. You need to have your cup filled with fucking elite salubrity to perform at the highest levels. I think it's the complete opposite. You are going to make the best decisions of your life when you are overrun to rack and ruin.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks.
Yup. We got the athletes. We got 3 in a row tonight. Yo, Lift, talk to us. Buddy jumped off. Gun shy. Yo, Jack.
Thanks for having me on, Brute.
So,
I wanted to ask about the synchronizing the delicate balance between obsession and lightheartedness. Because if you have obsession, that is 100% something that you should use and not run from. But in saying that, there are many case studies where the obsession goes too far and it actually stunts the creativity, the pursuit of excellence, so on and so forth. And so I wonder how you delicately balance those two opposing forces.
of obsession and what?
Lightheartedness.
So here's the thing. That's an oxymoron because obsession cannot be developed and it's not a choice. I actually fucking cringe when I see people talking about how to, like, they ask me, how do I find my obsession? What the fuck are you talking about? That's not something you can just fucking generate out of the misty thickets. That's not something you can generate out of the fucking palm trees. That's something that is literally fucking gifted to you.
Totally.
And here's the thing: if you are truly obsessed, that's that side of the axis. Lightheartedness comes full suite, batteries included with that package. In other words, let me put it to you this way: people that are highly obsessed and kind of have that natural pathology, it's the biggest blessing on earth, because here's the thing: you automatically can never really take your L's that fucking seriously. You already have sort of this undertone and sort of this understanding of how ephemeral everything is in life. And it makes it very, very difficult to take your L's fucking seriously if you're truly obsessed. You know, in there's a reason in tarot, in tarot fucking readings, which is mostly mystical bullshit, but there's one element of tarot that's not, and that's that this is not poetic fluff at all. But the fool in tarot, that card, is the only card, and this is actually legitimately a sacred technology. The fool is the only card that can walk off a cliff and not die. And that's a real thing. Like, have you noticed that the fool doesn't really get clapped in car accidents? It's like obsession and being a fool are kind of one and the same thing, because obsession does lead to tomfoolery, and it leads to foolhardy decisions. Here's the thing: similar to how children children are very foolish, and they make great falls, they make great errors, they have accidents. If you notice though, babies, and I have fucking two of them, they they'll fall in fucking catastrophic ways, and you'll literally look at a baby fall and have a nasty one, and they'll get up and start fucking laughing again. And you literally, it dawns on you, you're like, damn, if an adult fucking felt like that, they'd be fucking mangled. And so it's like the fool and the child are sort of similar in that obsession spectrum, where they're they sort of cheat death over and over and over again, because
Yeah,
someone who's not obsessed is sort of way too armored towards life. And I've always said this, but the apex lifestyle is actually to kind of let yourself be a plaything in the universe. Like you as a man are a fucking toy in the cosmos. Like you have to let life happen to you, and you have to know how to coast with the fucking currents and fucking go with the tides. It's like everybody is so fucking uptight and takes everything so fucking seriously, and it's like it's it's very tragic, just the overall anxiety, especially in 2025. Everybody is under a great deal of fucking anxiousness about everything, and there
mm,
is nothing on the planet that is more unsexy than fucking anxiety.
yeah, 100%. It's funny you say how they like the fool cheats death, because you'll see this case study all the time where a dude will get drunk, drive his car, and crash it, and four other people in the car die, and he lives. It's like shit like that happens all the time.
All the fucking time, and that's kind of what I was talking about the obsession. Is obsession leads to foolhardy behavior, and a lot of those people end up kind of making out. It's actually insane, the fucking mechanics of it, because like I said, it's an actual fucking sacred technology. Like, this has been known. It's like that. It's just the best solvent, right? But the point that I really want to fucking drive home is there is absolutely fucking zero way to develop obsession. It is the most
Yeah,
fucking
it's
absurd.
innate for sure.
I've seen obsession coaches where you can fucking get coaching and people will teach you how to become obsessed. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, well said, bro. Appreciate you letting me speak.
Yep. Oh boy. Forgotten brute de force. There he is. You want to unmute for us? Oh, he's begging for it. He's begging for it. Yo, solo.
There we go. You can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. First and foremost, thank you. I spoke to you a few years ago. I wanted to ask you a political question, actually. I was interested in your cultural commentary. I've noticed this big shift in the South. I go to a good business school here, and amongst my classmates, I think it's a great thing. People have become like considerably more farther right wing in the last few years since COVID. And I read a study recently that Gen Z men, like men ages between the ages of 18 and 26, are actually now the farthest right wing demographic in the country. And you can kind of see this in like popular culture too, where being just right wing or nationalist is way more prominent amongst Europeans or Americans. And I wanted you to hear, like, you mentioned something about on a tweet that you shouldn't like try to build an empire when people are stealing the bricks from the road or something along those lines. Do you have any opinion on the matter, like the shifting political perceptions in the Western world?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question, man. I mean, look, America is definitely in a decline, but that is the golden age. I mean, this is literally the apex right here, right now. Yeah, I do think building in this landscape is batshit fucking retarded. 100 fucking %. Things are shifting and transforming and fucking transmogrifying at such a rate that is fucking incomprehensible that by the time you build a ship, that ship might not even fucking be ready to fucking sail in 6 months. Just the way the manifold is operating right now and spindling is that we're in an epoch where time and transformation is happening at such a fucking rapid pace that you pretty much have to be on your fucking toes and ready to fucking pivot at all times. You have to have fleet of foot. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, how the fuck are you going to commit to building a fucking 2 year, 5 year, 10 year plan, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year fucking business when the fucking landscape itself is besieged? The landscape itself is completely besieged right now in America. Um, that's just where we're at, man, and I think that does need to be embraced.
So, like socially, I was also wondering how that ties in because, I think that AI is going to cause it where exactly what you said, where people basically have to upskill themselves or just learn a new trade every 2, 3 years or something along those lines. And do you think this is going to cause like maybe like mass psychosis amongst normies because a lot of their identity is based off their career or the prestige that is like aligned alongside it?
100%, and it already has. I mean, Gen Z, I still view as the blessed generation because they were born into the dopamine tsunami. They were born rot and fucking benighted by the dopamine fucking rush. And I still think dopamine overdose is extremely fucking goated for kind of bringing forth latent talent. And so that's why I do think a lot of the fucking geniuses and innovators and fucking firebrands and trailblazers are definitely gonna start popping from Gen Z. Here's the thing though, man. I don't think people genuinely comprehend the level of destruction. The boomers have caused more genocidal fucking destruction on the world than any other fucking generation combined. The boomers have caused every fucking the fucking gambling explosion. The fact that fucking everybody is now trying to gamble their way out of the middle is a direct result of the boomers. Because the boomer messaging to my generation, I'm a millennial, was every fucking thing that a boomer told you growing up as a millennial was literally fucking dead wrong. And it's not even close. It was they have the worst wisdom and the worst advice of any generation in fucking world history. And they led all of their children astray, which then had a massive fucking ripple effect on Gen Z. And Gen Z was the first generation to wake the fuck up and be like, wait a minute. If we follow our grandparents' advice, we're gonna be fucking pushing pencils till we're fucking 60. So now everyone doesn't want to be in the middle because they know it's a sham. And so everyone's taking shots and everyone's trying to fucking gamble their way out of the middle. So that cultural crisis right there is from the fucking boomers. And then, I mean, you're talking about why everyone's pivoting hard right. This is the fucking reason. I mean, the boomers are quite literally the reason why the banking industry is so fucked. fucking retarded boomers who are sending fucking wires to Nigerians because they got an email saying that if they wire them fucking $1 million, the king of Nigeria is gonna fucking give them a fucking golden scepter worth 85 million. Those boomers who are falling for that shit are the reasons why when you try to fucking send a Zelle payment for $1,000, it gets put on hold and you have to talk to fucking customer service for 2 hours. Like quite literally, the reason why everything is child proof is what I want to tell you. Modern society has been child proofed because of boomers. Because boomers are retarded and they don't have any fucking agency, and they have created, this safety. These institutions have come in to basically rescue the fucking stupidity of the boomers, and so we're all fucking suffering because of it. It's why it's why all your fucking transactions get stuck. It's why fucking PayPal holds your money. It's all because of the fucking boomers.
I have like commentary on that, and then I have two questions after that, and I'll be done. It's kind of
Go for
interesting
it.
because like growing up, I had, and it's a bit embarrassing to admit, but my mom is kind of like an apex female where she's kind of the matriarch of the household, and she's like this neurotic entry level rich woman. And then it's my dad who's like highly analytically skilled. He's like very good on the mathematical side of everything, and he was the breadwinner. But I feel like with most upper middle class women, the moms who are a bit more like psychotic about their children doing well in school and everything. Like what you said about the boomers giving the worst career advice possible resonated with me very strongly. Had I like listened to exactly what my mother said to do in life, it would just be really depressingly pathetic. Like it would have been really bad. And I just think to myself, like that whole generation of people, like I joke with my friends, they have lead poisoning. They have lead poisoning because they had lead in the paint when the boomers were growing up or something. But that's the whole generation of people that sold out the country to Zog. It's the same reason they like celebrate legal immigrants and they have complete apathy for their own children. Like they literally support the demographic replacement of
Dude,
Americans by foreigners.
100%. And so you're talking about this hard pivot, right? I mean, it's literally all because of this. Every fucking safety sign you see, the fact that you can't swim in high tide in the oceans, a lifeguard will pull you out. The fact that nothing is fun anymore, there's fucking warning labels, warning signs, cautionary fucking tales. Every fucking label has some sort of child proof fucking airy fairy fucking bullshit on every fucking decision that you make is all because of the boomers. Quite literally. It's why everything is fucking childproof. You literally can see it at every level of society. Your cars have gotten fucking gay because of the boomers. Your car fucking warns you when you fucking drive fucking a millimeter over a lane. It fucking gives you a fucking beep. The fucking parking sensors go off. Everything has been max fucking homified by the boomers.
Yeah,
And so yeah,
when I go to rent a car now, they have all the new car models, and it's like if you drive over the speed limit, it'll just start beeping incessantly. So it's kind of reaffirmed my decision that I have to buy a car that's not electric. But you said about about fun. I grew up in San Diego, and I think you grew up in Los Angeles, to my understanding. Like California as a state, and California is the greatest state in the country, and I stand by that. It's kind of a dead state, like in the sense that Los Angeles feels like a really shell of its former self. To be honest with you, nothing happened in San Diego in the past and nothing does today. Orange County is like the last place where there's any sense of normalcy, but it feels like there's no great American cities anymore. Like it just genuinely feels like there's no frontier. I guess you could say some places in the South, like I'm in Dallas, and Dallas is a great city to make money, but then other than that, there's like nothing here to do. And then Austin is like filled with people who couldn't make it in San Francisco. They're like, I wanted to hear your perspective or opinions about this. Like, where are the good places for, I guess, the young men to explore in the northern
oh,
cities?
the coastal cities are fried. They're done. They're beyond cooked. New York, fucking LA, they're done, man. They're done, and they're not coming back. It's everybody is under a fucking mass hallucination over there. Um, the hyper fucking competitiveness has just fucking eaten everybody alive. I really fucking think that the fucking northwest of the U.S. is pretty fucking baller. Washington, fucking Utah, fucking Oregon, like those fucking those small fucking little towns are gonna start popularizing mega. I mean, there's already been a max exodus from California to Arizona, and it's just gonna keep moving up. The next big popular state, I'll tell you right now, because I got my finger on the pulse, is Washington. Washington State, you're gonna start seeing max exodus from Californians, Arizonans. Everyone's fucking going to Washington. That place is gonna start fucking popping. Give it 5 years. Washington State is gonna be a fucking metropolis.
That's really interesting. Like, why do you think Washington State,
Not even Seattle, more eastern Washington
Idaho? Yeah.
towards Idaho,
So,
correct.
like, you're thinking basically like kind of that northern Rockies region, like Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, and then eastern Washington is going to be like the.
Oh, they're gonna start popping. Like the like right now, if you go to those towns, it still kind of looks like there's West Virginian inbreds there. Like the genetics are still kind of fucked because there's just hasn't been an exodus really there yet. But I'm telling you right now that the beautiful women and just the beauty in general is gonna start fucking overflowing into those regions. It's a fucking guarantee. You can already literally see the seeds of it right now. As we speak, this is happening. It's blooming, it's blossoming, and it's only gonna get better.
Actually, I do hear about a lot of like Californian venture capitalists moving to Utah, so it does check out with what I'm also hearing on the ground anecdotally.
Idaho's gangster as fuck too, man. Coeur d'Alene. I don't know too much about the south part of the state, but fucking Idaho is fucking gangster as fuck. That's the most red state in the country.
I think it's because those areas have good demographics as well. Like, do you think that?
They have smoking bars. I think Idaho's the only state in the country that still lets you fucking smoke in like a bunch of their bars. You can still fucking indoor smoke.
And like tying that in,
That's a
yeah,
that's a cultural landmark.
tying that into what you said about like the women there also looking good. Like, do you think the trad wife thing is like a temporary fad, or is there something like going on here where we're going to see women kind of reverting more to Puritan form in the depressed economy? Because I had this speculation, and now that I say it aloud, I think you actually mentioned this before anybody. You said that people are waiting till marriage now because the economy's bad, or like people aren't fucking as much because there's a recession going on. So do you think like that's going to be a thing in the future where people promote celibacy more?
Not really. And I also still think I lean heavy on the idea that women are built. I don't think any women come ready made whatsoever. I talk to a lot of young guys about this, and guys will be like, "Yeah, man, I can't settle down because I haven't found the right girl." And it's like, dude, you ain't finding a ready made chick in 2025. That's not how it works. You're not gonna. You're literally coping. You're finding a fucking reason not to commit. There's no such thing as a ready made chick in 2025. Every fucking chick you meet has to be built and constructed from the ground up. You have to literally fucking superimpose your will onto them to make them become who you want them to be. Women are super fucking malleable like that. It's like I don't know where the fuck that psyop came from that you get a ready-made woman out of the package. Not how it fucking works. Here's the thing: the only decision you got to make with women is this woman a worthwhile operation? Am I willing to invest the time to build this type of woman into who I want her to be? That's the fucking golden question.
I think
You
the
know,
issue
like
spawns
you
from.
can take any fucked up woman. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can take any fucked up woman, any, and if you actually do put the fucking investment and fucking time into it, you can make her whoever you want to be. I'm telling you that right now.
Do you
It's
think?
just you gotta kind of have a good base to work with though. That's sort of what it comes down to. Like if the base is there and it's a base that's worth putting time into, then yeah, you can fucking turn any woman into a fucking great wife. I fully believe that. I've seen it with my own two eyes over and over.
I'm just guessing
It's
here. Do you think the root of the issue spawns from like the man having less experience from the women, so the women can sense the kind of form of anxiety or insecurity that he has from a result of that?
that is correct.
Interesting. All
That
right.
is correct.
That
That is correct, my brother.
that answers all
It's
my
just
questions.
it's just men it's just men don't want to go into the belly of the beast. They don't want to fucking put in that kind of fucking work, which is somewhat understandable, but not at the same time because I still see um building a woman is one of the most noble things you can do while you're building a business, while you're doing your other stuff. It's the most challenging fucking work you'll ever take on in your life. But the lessons that you learn and the sort of the frustration from that process, it's a frustrating process. Does not matter how much money you got, how good looking you are, how tall you are. It has nothing to do with that. Every woman is going to have to be built the way you want her to be, And the point is that frustrating process, but sticking through that and fucking committing to it until the bitter end actually does benefit all the other areas in your life guaranteed from just sticking with that. But guys tap out way too soon. They like immediately see a woman, and because she doesn't fucking behave and fucking submit in the first day, they just call her a whore and move on. But come on, we know what's going on there. We know what's going on there. We know that you're just afraid to fucking go through the process because you're afraid that she's gonna find out you're not who you say you are. That's what that is. That's a form reversal. That's just a motherfucker who's afraid of being fucking discovered that he's not who he pretended to be in the beginning. So then you turn it on her and you make it seem like she's the problem. But the point is, every fucking woman you meet at level 1 is going to be a problem. All of them. Like you don't. I don't. It blows my mind. Guys will be like, "Yeah, we didn't have anything in common." Okay. I mean, what the fuck's your point? You didn't have anything in common. That's not the basis of a relationship with a woman has nothing to do with you liking the same fucking music. Like you instill these values into a woman through being a role model and through the way you live.
You know, I've always speculated when women dye their hair blue or like very outspoken feminists or liberals, like they secretly desire for a man to dominate them like really hard. They just don't want to, they can't consciously recognize it, but they deep down want somebody to come into their life and kind of like break them down and almost build them back up.
I've said this. I've said that the blue-haired people are our greatest friends. They're our fucking allies. They're literally accelerating the correction. The blue-haired freaks, the fucking nipple-pierced fucking schizos that are fucking streaking in the fucking streets with fucking loincloths, holding up signs, being fucking rambunctious. Those women are literally begging for a vanguard of masculine men to come in and fucking smash those movements to dust. That is exactly what they're fucking hoping for. It's just everything's reverse psychology. Like you can't if you're a wounded woman, you can't come out and tell people that. So you got to exhibit behavior that's going to force people to correct it on their own. That's sort of the tenor of how that works. But yeah, man, interesting questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Do you think that ties into Nick Fuentes at all? Because you said something about like you were talking about looks maxing earlier, so I was wondering if you've like heard about this new guy with the, you know, he's like on the live streams and whatnot. He's very popular amongst the youth.
With Nick Fuentes?
Yeah.
What about him?
Like, do you think he's like kind of similar to what you're talking about, the looks maxer guy? How you kind of respect the fact that he's like, you know, very committed to what he's doing. Do you have like a, you know, strong opinion about him? Like, do you think he's going to be probably an influential person in the future of American politics?
Yeah, I mean his message is a little too boring for me. I can't really dig into it. He just doesn't really have enough depth for me. But I do I really struggle to kind of believe the incel jig. I do think that's sort of a personage that he's rocking. It's a clever one for sure. I'm not really sure that I fucking believe it. Um, it's a genius angle for sure. Kind of capturing the hearts of like a lot of these men that are kind of in the same boat. I understand that he's kind of casting a drag net and trying to fucking lure in as many of those young guys who kind of sympathize with that deficit, but I don't really believe it's real at all. These personas are fucking intense and insane, and I think what happens is when people get on the big stage and they have an audience, they 100% sort of everything becomes theater. It's just a natural part of the game. I mean, even if you go back to ancient times, I could name half a dozen figures who are venerated to this day. People who have mythic stories that sort of pierce even just modern times when you look back at them. Well, a guy who comes to mind is Blackbeard. Blackbeard was known as like one of the most formidable, ruthless pirates of all time. But when you go and look at his story and you actually dive into the literature, it was all theater. Yeah, he had a scary army at times, but they would fucking come in on sloops and fucking raid villages and whatnot, or raid ships. But when you look at Blackbeard himself, the guy would literally go into battle with ribbons, 6-shooter pistols, and fucking lit fuses braided into his beard. The guy would literally walk into a battle and he would light dynamite fuses in his beard so that his head looked like a giant slab of onyx in a fucking whirling, misty, billowing pile of smoke to fucking intimidate and cause fear amongst his enemies. Like, that's just all theater. That's just all theater. And it's like when you look at when you look at the stratigraphy of every level of society throughout history, you see these types of theaters that have way more of a powerful impact than the actual actions themselves. You know what I mean? So I do think, yes, I do. What you're saying is true. I think Nick Fuentes, all of these figures, eventually, here's how myth works. You get a guy like Blackbeard. He's intimidating. He sort of creates a legendary status for himself. How tall tales and folklore works, how people become legendary figures, is because when the rumor mill is churning at full speed, everybody disproportionalizes the dimensions of the man they're speaking about. So like when we think of folk heroes, folk legends, folklore, we think of guys like Paul Bunyan, right? Who are fucking 7'6" guys riding an ox. What people don't understand is that that's coming from a real perception that someone had of a great warrior, a great leader, a great fucking politician. And through story, posthumously, they add literal inches to his height. They superimpose these characteristics that were not there, and they outstretch them and make them so disproportionate that by the time you hear it in the year 2025, you think this guy is a mythic superhuman extraterrestrial, but really he was just a fucking regular guy. Because every time that rumor passes ear to ear, it's like the guy was reported to be 6 foot, but he was so fucking charming, charismatic, and was such a fucking hardy warrior. The next guy's like, nah, he was 6'1", then he's 6'2", then he's 6'3". By the time it gets to you, 50 years later, the motherfucker was 6'6", fucking 225 pounds of fucking limestone muscle. You get what I'm saying? So this is how myths sort of propagate and spread. And I guarantee you, guys like Nick Fuentes, even these fucking podcasters who sit in a fucking chair all day, as time goes on, they will reach legendary status. And Nick Fuentes might be 5'6". I guarantee fucking to you in like 30 years, you're gonna hear that guy was fucking 6'1".
That's really interesting. Speaking of stories, when does your book and docuseries come out? What's the update on that?
Docu-series, I still have a last segment, which is very special. It's fucking covert. I can't even reveal what it is because it's gonna fucking shock the nation. But I am going to be unbuttoning something in the last segment that still needs to be filmed because it's still pending. That's gonna be a fucking absolute fucking catapult when that comes out. The book I kind of have tabled for now. Bunch of people were fucking pitching me, giving me fucking book deals, book offers. It didn't feel right to fucking sell a book. That just something just feels tacky about fucking selling an ebook. So I'll probably just release the book for free at some point. And that's gonna be a fucking banger because that's quite literally the origin story. It's pretty much everything I've ever gone through, and all the war stories.
Do you have like any coaching going on? Because I remember like 2 years ago, you think you had something in Los Angeles for like lifting, or I don't know. Do you have like paid mentorship available? And some of you,
So that's pretty much all I've been doing, man. I've been kind of in the shadows, mentoring quite a bit of guys. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of fucking relationship work. That just seems to be like the common motif right now in society. A lot of people are having relationship problems. So yeah, I mean, I do that privately for sure. That's where I've been spending most of my time.
do we just DM you for
Uh,
that? Is that how it works?
yeah, you can just shoot me a DM, brother.
All right, perfect. Thanks. It was phenomenal talking to you. This will be something that's remembered for generations. I appreciate it.
Yep, right on, man. Peace.